Story time. So in 2014, I was the pastor of a small non-denominational church in Jonesboro, Arkansas. One afternoon, I decided to get a quick haircut at a place called Sports Clips. I was lucky because the place was unusually empty, so I didn't have to wait. After paying for my haircut and chatting with the hairdresser a bit, I was about to leave when I almost bumped into a tall man standing behind me. He had a unique appearance with a white hair comb over, piercing eyes, and a conservative blue suit. I guessed him to be a conservative person of importance, but I couldn't figure out who he was. He introduced himself and shook my hand, but his name didn't register with me until later. But I will always remember his quiet strength, kindness, and humility. It turns out that I had just met Asa Hutchinson, who was campaigning at the time to become the governor of Arkansas. Asa Hutchinson was eventually elected as the Republican governor of Arkansas in the fall of 2014, giving the Republican Party complete control of the state government. He took a more moderate and practical approach compared to many of the other Republicans in power during the time. Now, Asa Hutchinson is running for the Republican nomination for president in 2024, positioning himself to be an alternative to the style of politics associated with Donald Trump. However, considering the current political climate, I don't believe Asa Hutchinson has a snowball's chance in an Arkansas summer to become the GOP nominee for president. What struck me the most about meeting Asa Hutchinson at Sports Clips was that despite running for governor, he didn't feel the need to reveal his identity or ask for my vote. And this kind of personal humility is not common among politicians or people in general nowadays. Based on my personal impression of Hutchinson, if given the opportunity, I will vote for him in the Republican primary. I will be participating in the Republican primary as a registered independent voter if given the opportunity to do so by my state. Before the 2016 presidential election, I had never voted for candidates outside of the Republican Party. My first vote when I turned 18 in 1988 was for George H.W. Bush, and I considered myself to be a follower of Ronald Reagan's Republican Party. My political beliefs were influenced by my evangelical Christian values and the Republican Party's promise to uphold those values. My right-wing politics became even more extreme during the Clinton administration. Unlike many of my family members and the people in my community, I did not support Bill Clinton, a fellow Arkansan, due to concerns about his ethics and support for abortion rights and other liberal policies. A significant turning point for me came in 2016 when I voted for a Clinton, Hillary Clinton. It marked the first occasion where I voted for a Democrat where there was an alternative on the ballot. I made this choice primarily in response to the nomination of Donald Trump as the Republican presidential candidate. I couldn't understand how the Republican Party, which had long viewed the idea of the ends justifying the means as unacceptable, decided to abandon that principle and support Trump. And the Republican Party is once again rallying behind him. Take for a moment to grasp that fact. Despite everything we know about Donald Trump, including his involvement in inciting the assault on the Capitol on January 6th, the numerous scandals around him, none of this seems to diminish the unwavering support of Trump's core followers who, with enthusiasm, continue to support him. My support for Clinton in 2016 and Biden in 2020 goes beyond my distaste for Trump. I genuinely feel betrayed by the GOP. With over 50 years of life experience, I've come to the realization that this country is best served by elected officials who understand that policy decisions have the potential to improve the lives of everyday people, not just those who are wealthy, privileged, and lacking in melanin. This perspective is why my initial impression of Asa Hutchinson was so positive. Hutchinson gets his haircuts at Sports Clips and distances himself from Trump. So I will be supporting Asa Hutchinson wherever possible in the GOP primary, but unfortunately for him, unless there are drastic changes between now and November 2024, and unless his party is willing to denounce Donald Trump and all of his antics, I will find myself once again voting for Joe Biden.